Podcast Night on Gargantua-1 is part of the Casual Cult Network.
Drink it, slave! Your master commands you! Oh, hey, Grimmia.
Colin, we gotta record the podcast. Why are you dressed like that?
The Phantom Spaceman lost a bet, and now he's my slave, and he's refusing a direct order to drink this.
You never welch on a bet, Phantom Spaceman. You be a man. You drink it! We have to record the podcast.
I mean, you look like hell. Alright, Phantom Spaceman, you drink it. I gotta go do this.
Welcome back to Podcast Night on Gargantua-1. I'm your host, Grimmia. Colin is here.
Allegedly. Yeah, no, I'm here.
I know he's definitely
It's a good time. I have my Twitter account back for all those of you who are like following that.
On the edges of their seats.
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. I didn't watch. I just watched the Usher halftime show.
Yeah.
My team was out, so I didn't care.
The world erupted in fury at Travis Kelce pushing Andy Reid.
It's football.
That was kind of my take on it. Was it's football? Like, should he have done it? No, and he's aware of that. He's not going around being like it was fine, but like it's football. It's intense.
Yeah, the fact that he's going around saying, "Yeah, I fucked up."
I respect that. He's not like, no, whatever. But he's like, I screwed up. You know, he knows me. I know him. We know that's how we get. And I think that that's fine. You know, if you two as adults can agree like this is fine. I do think it was a little much for people to be like, well, now I'm concerned for Taylor. Like, okay, this is different, but I don't know.
And we're going to unpack all of that on our new podcast about Taylor Swift.
The Swiftie Report.
The Swiftie Report. I don't know. Can you even make a joke about that without getting, like, torn apart? We'll find out.
You know what? Hey, if we get torn apart in the comments, at least we're getting comments, right?
That's true.
That's what we're here to do. And learn more about that and other controversial media techniques in our new podcast. Controversial media techniques.
Available on all podcast platforms except for Apple. Too controversial for Apple.
Yeah. There's no such thing as bad publicity. That is our motto. Aside from that, we are actually officially part of a content network now that we started ourselves.
Ooh, yeah.
This is our first episode since we officially launched it. So.
I'm gonna have a little thing recorded, so ahead of time it'll say part of the Casual Cult Podcast Network or something like that. So everybody will have already heard that, and now we have officially announced it. Yeah.
So we many eons ago were in a Discord server that we later just we refused to refer to as anything other than a cult.
It was a cult.
And that just led us to bringing up cults constantly.
Already what I do, which is
but it just
weird.
gave us like reason to, I guess. It justified it.
Cult justification.
Cultification. I don't know.
Cultification. Cultification.
Cultification. That works. And so our Discord server, if any of you have joined it, which you should, is called the Casual Cult. And so, joining up with a couple of VTubers, Sugarflower and Zoomerical, we are the Casual Cult Content Network, and we cover a wide variety of things.
A lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Too many things to name.
We'll actually have a podcast where we just name the things that we do. It's just list format. There's no discourse.
It's not just a listicle.
It's just
an audio listicle.
It's just read out in order. It's like Chris Jericho's 1001 Holds from WCW, which is a great reference. It's very niche. That was just for me. So Grimmia's going to tell us all about this episode now.
Well, no, I have more housekeeping. If you're watching this on the YouTube, you gotta remember to do the free things, which is the liking and the subscribing and the commenting. And if you're listening on your preferred podcast platform, you gotta rate and review, because it's free, and it helps us out. And the more you do this, the less we have to do the boring housekeeping part, where I have to remind
Instead, the housekeeping becomes fun, where we thank you guys for doing those things, and maybe read fun reviews or comments.
Oh, if we get any form of bad reviews or comments, we're reading them. We'll read good ones too, but like,
I will read bad reviews in funny voices.
This is true. Colin can do funny voices.
I'd say it would be you, but having had you as my dungeon master, I know you can do one voice.
I can only sound like an old crone.
But in your defense, you do a really good job of sounding like an old crone.
I put all my effort into that, and that is.
If you look at our stat spreads for doing voices, you min-maxed into old crone.
Yeah.
And I have like a pretty rounded one.
But the episode this week was Midlife Chrysalis, directed by Public and written by both Hammer and Public. And this is another out of order episode. So this was the third one written. Probably this one was chosen to air later because if this was the third episode, all of a sudden Brock lost his license and we don't know how good of a professional killer he is. So my logic is they aired it later to like...
Just so to make it more of like a, oh crap.
Yeah. Oh crap, Brock lost his license. And this was the first episode Hammer and Public wrote together. So they would just alternate, instead of writing it together. Public didn't like the way Hammer typed because he's dyslexic. So he types strange, I guess. That's what he said in the art book. So they just alternated writing the scenes and then they would just mush them together. Figure out how to mush them together.
So would they like... And I don't know if you know this or not, but would they like one wrote the A plot, one wrote the B plot?
That is my guess.
Okay.
Like, somebody's writing Rusty at the bar flirting, and somebody's writing the boys doing their thing.
Yeah. Speaking of the boys, I did catch a little reference to the fact that they don't know about their mother, which was my favorite joke from the pilot. But Rusty was like, "Oh yeah, I've never told you guys about that." You know, which I assumed there was a story there, but I feel like this is our first verbal confirmation from the characters that there is a story there. Like,
there is a story there.
Like, there is something to be revealed, and I feel like that's a nice setup for, you know, again, given the ardent fandom for the show, I feel like obviously this is going to be paid off in some way.
Eventually.
Yeah.
We had to wait a very long time.
That's fair.
And there's a lot of, like, red herrings, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, this is, like, Rusty's first confirmation. Like, oh yeah, your mom.
Yeah, like, something happened.
Oh shit,
here.
I gotta go. But what could have happened?
What could have happened?
It's fun, like, looking back, knowing what I know now, and I don't think any of this was planned that far in advance.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, in Stranger Things, they go back and they watch it, and then they piece some more stuff together. I don't know if these guys are doing that. I don't think they are. But a lot of it eventually just kind of gets pieced together. I don't think it was ever planned from the beginning.
That makes sense.
So they drop a lot of, like, mom stuff, and it's like, we'll figure it out later. Who's their mom? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a
but they're
future
like,
problem.
This is something, it's like throwing, like, an idea. There's, like, we want to do something with this, and we'll figure it out when we get there.
Like when you get drunk and don't plug your phone in. That's a future problem.
Right. Of course. Does that happen to you a lot? Is this, like, a personal tale?
No, I have a wireless charger. I just set my phone on that.
I've often thought about getting one of those, but I heard that they're not good for the environment.
I don't know. It's got like I can charge 2 things at once, and my headphones can charge wirelessly, so I can charge both of those at the same time.
See, that is awesome.
I also don't have a pop socket or a very thick case, because if I did, I wouldn't be able to wirelessly charge it. Pop sockets also aren't the thing anymore.
I briefly had one, and I kind of liked it. Not gonna lie.
I liked it. Now the kids have the magnetic things these days.
Yeah, no, the kids are all
about magnets and mullets.
Are kids doing mullets now?
Kids have been doing mullets, which is funny, because Brock's getting roasted for having a mullet in this episode, but now...
What year did this episode air?
2004. Mullets were...
So back in 2004, mullets were not it.
Not it. Mullets weren't it when they were even it. But mullets, last couple of years, have kind of come back.
Okay, so overall, I think I enjoyed this episode. However, and we discussed this in Green Room, it was also just like, this was just filler.
Yeah, it feels like a fluff episode.
Yeah, like, it wasn't bad, but it did... I mean, it sort of advanced Monarch.
Yeah, we get the most development on Brock and the Monarch, really.
Now, what I found, I guess, interesting was that Brock is, for all of his awesomeness, got, like, low-key a terrible agent. By, like, their standards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, technically. But he knows the right people.
Yeah, it's like, he knows the right people, he will get shit done, and he will do it successfully, but if we are looking at it from a technical standpoint, he did it all wrong.
Yeah.
Not a moment of this was done correctly. So I find that interesting. But then when the test administrator is a kid you babysat.
Yeah. Well, he's good at the murdering part.
He's great at it, actually.
He's really good at being a babysitter.
Yeah. And I mean, that we've seen a lot with
the boys.
With
obviously,
the boys.
with General Tryster's son.
Yeah.
It's just he's just too efficient of a murderer. You can also hear the cocoon. I don't know if he could see the cocoon from where he was sitting, or if I think it was just like he heard the noise and was like, Monarch's here.
No, Brock is, like, he's definitely, like, hyper competent. Like, you can tell that. It really just ends up being that, he's not, like, discreet in any way.
No, God, no. He could be if he wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got, is that, like, this isn't for lack of, like, it's not that he's like, oh, I tried really hard to be discreet and I couldn't. It's just like, I didn't care. This was not relevant to me in any way.
Yeah, you see it in the flashback when he's making out with the stripper and he starts thinking about all those people he killed. Just really good at killing.
I also liked how he just, like, picked up the stripper.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I found hilarious for... It's hilarious that, like, Rusty was like, I'm gonna get this stripper, I'm gonna do it. And then Brock, with zero effort. W Riz from Brock, as the kids say.
He just exudes sexiness, I guess. It's the mullet, secretly.
I would smash. I would. Yeah.
Secretly the mullet.
We're all secretly attracted to mullets.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
What would you do if your husband had a mullet?
I'm kind of going through a Val Kilmer phase right now.
Has he ever had a mullet?
I don't know, man.
Look it up.
We watched him. I watched The Isle of Dr. Moreau, and he's in that.
How was it?
It's hilarious. It's
Val
bonkers.
Kilmer
We'll talk about that
mullet.
in our movie podcast.
He has had a mullet.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I'm going to look that up later.
Wow.
He's sending me links.
You're like, I don't know what's going on here.
That's not really
Look at this.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
not
that.
really a hindrance. And I think that's the problem.
The problem is that I don't see that as a hindrance.
We're not even
talking about the show anymore. Got it. Let's get back to it. What was the reference that you saw for the first time?
Because I have since now seen some of the Rockies. I always knew like the drinking the egg has been a Rocky thing, but when Hank says "eat lightning" and "crap thunder," that's what Rocky's trainer says to him.
Nice. Okay.
And then there was another James Bond reference, which I guess I'm just keeping track of now. When Brock is remembering all the people he murdered, he harpoons some dudes underwater, and that happens in Thunderball, I think.
Just back to the mullet. If you go to the Wikia and look at like cultural references, one of them is just mullet. Every epithet that the bartender uses for Brock is a dig on his haircut. A mullet. In a mullet, the hair is long at the back of the head but cut shorter on the top, front, and sides of the head. The mullet has not been a popular style since the early 90s. Since then, it has become an object of ridicule in society.
It's popular among hockey players.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
My brain was about to jump straight to the intro question. Wow.
Hey.
We don't have.
Who
Who are we? You don't need to know that. All that matters is the story.
Yep.
If you're enjoying what our mystery show is doing, there are numerous ways to support the show on our Beacons page.
Show?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Mystery TTRPG Theater 5000.
Catch the chaos live Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/The Forgotten Troop.
I'm making a return to streaming, so if you guys want to see some casual video gameplay, come on over. You can find my link and the links in the description. You know? You go to the link tree for us, and then there's my link tree, and then right there's my Twitch. I'm gonna play some Pokemon. You like Pokemon? I do. I'm just losing it. I thought you were losing it like by like completely like unsell of myself.
Oh, both of those. Yeah, both of those. Do you like Pokemon? You should come hang out and watch me.
I'm a bad person. You know, Rusty turning into a bug. Disgusting. Hated it.
He actually turns into... That is kind of gross. It is a monarch caterpillar.
Really? That's good. Good. I'm glad.
There's like a butterfly sanctuary. Like in the spring, they'll do the monarchs are like hatching and stuff. So we usually try and go and see them. Because it's extra funny because we're both Venture Brothers fans. And I like to walk around botanical gardens.
Right.
But yeah, so I've seen monarch caterpillars, and that is indeed what they look like. And a blue morpho landed on my head last time we were there. That's another type of butterfly.
Interesting.
You would think that his like chrysalis would change. He's kind of like accepting of his fate. His like, yep, super science did this to me. Well, I'm gonna die now. And then Dr. Girlfriend comes in and he's like, still rusty.
Yeah.
Still disgusting rusty.
I think what I loved was Hank just no-selling it.
He didn't give a fuck.
Last week we fought a dinosaur. Like last week we fought a dinosaur.
You're gonna kill me, right, Hank? Probably not.
Hank's just like, man, like I feel like Dean is more emotional. Hank's just like, I don't.
Dean's in denial.
Fuck, man. My head's a caterpillar now? Cool, whatever. Alright. My dick's still hard. Brock's still here. We're good, everybody. Like, that's Hank, man. And I believe that. I found it funny that the monarch was so, like, insistent. Like, no, you Promise me you didn't sleep with him. Promise. Did you sleep with him?
But he was so fucking into it.
he was into them foreplaying, but he's like, if you fucked him.
He is. This was some Monarch development, and he's very easily jealous, especially when it's Dr. Girlfriend, and that keeps coming back.
Which, do you blame him? She's consistent. Pretty hot.
She's super hot. And as always, she's the brains behind the fucking Monarch's operation. She probably invented the serum.
I love the fact that it's like, basically, he's the villain because he's the one licensed to be a villain.
He's like a little figurehead.
Yeah. It's like, you're not good at this. You're just the one who has the license that lets us do this, but like,
yeah,
you're bad at this. You're mid. You're bad. You suck.
He's theatrical. She's like this what is the he's like the star of your play, and then she's just the stage manager, making sure everything goes well.
I like that. That's a very fun and relatively apt comparison, I would say.
He's here to sing and fly around.
He's like, I'm gonna have a good time doing this.
She's here to invent shit to keep him out of trouble.
And also potentially screw Rusty.
They have a lot in common, though.
She seemed pretty into Rusty. Like, yeah, no, she's definitely, like, doing a great job selling it, but she also did not seem, like, uninterested.
He doesn't have a certain je ne sais quoi that the Monarch has.
Right, which is to say the really tight outfit.
The abs.
Je ne sais quoi is French for tight outfit.
I don't know if the abs are part of his costume or if he actually has abs.
I'd assume the costume. Like, I don't see the Monarch getting out of bed and getting his workout in for the day. I do see him putting padded abs in his suit, though.
Who wouldn't, though, to be fair?
Put padded abs in their suit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I would. That's why I wanted the Spider-Man Halloween costumes as a kid. They came with padded abs. Yeah. And I hated Spider-Man. I'm kidding. I wanted to be Spider-Man so bad. I have no further comments on the episode, though. And I actually just realized I have to take a test to get my secret agent license, so.
You let that lapse again?
Yeah. Been busy.
That's unfortunate for you. What do we have next week? What's going on next week? Not next week, in 2 weeks, because I know how time works.
In 2 weeks, we're gonna pray.
In 2 weeks, we're going to the Amazon.
Alright, well, I will make sure I have my secret agent license back for that.
I'm gonna make sure all of my stuff is up to date with the guild. We'll see you in the Amazon. Coffee members can listen to Podcast Night on Gargantua-1 early. Link available in the show notes or YouTube description.